Well,
Oh,
hello, my brother.
hi, buddy.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good, good. Doing all right. See, you got the perfect room. I mean, every week it's like a different view, a different product we got hanging up. I added some
Well,
products. I got my new John Rivoli. Well, not
they're
new.
beautiful.
They were purchased a very long time ago. Too long to admit that they weren't framed, but I finally get them framed. But yeah, look at you. You got the robes. You got the Rocky Balboa robe. You got the Rocky Four robe, and then it
It's
looks like
been
every single Jax that was made.
no, I don't have all those. I only bought the Rocky figures, except I did get a couple of Creeds, and
Okay.
I had to get Frank. I had to get Frank.
Yo,
You
you do
know,
have Frank? That's awesome.
I do. He's over there under well, and I do have Joe Frazier, who
Okay.
is my favorite all time boxer. I've said that before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got there's some other ones over here. They're the NECA NECAs or what
Yep,
NECA.
yep. Yeah, they weren't they were a little pricier, I think, if I remember correctly.
They were for a while they were on this Chinese site. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm.
And they were like dirt cheap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were
So
dirt
so I
cheap.
have to ask you, since you said you bought all the Rocky ones, do you have the Rocky 2 in the wheelchair?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's
Uh
awesome. That's so great. That is so great. That's a very hard one to find from what I hear.
they are.
Look at that. That's going for like 4 or $500 on eBay.
Is it
Look at
really?
that. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know what? If retirement doesn't work out, I have a backup plan.
Start whittling down the Rocky figures.
Actually, I'll sell my cats first.
I
I
don't blame
never
you there.
part with this stuff.
I don't blame you there. Yeah, I'd probably do the same. I hate to admit that, but I would.
I will not part with it. I told my family, I said, look, when I'm dead and gone, two things are going with me. I know you can't take it with you, but this I am.
Right.
My picture with Sly in the autographed glove.
Yep.
When I'm gone, you can do whatever you want with it.
The rest is
but
up to you.
the rest is up to you, but the glove and the picture come with me.
That's great. That's great. So last week's episode went over pretty well. That we had more questions than episode time,
That's a good thing.
which which is not a bad. I would say it's not a bad thing. That not a bad problem
Right.
to have. So we're doing a part two of
Yes.
questions. We did get answers from some people on questions that they would want to ask if they were given the opportunity to ask Sly a question, which I kind of find interesting because I mean everybody says what would you say? Like I have family members and friends that say that to me. Oh, we know what a big fan of. What would you say to him if you met him? And of course, everybody's going to say the traditional and the heartfelt
Hmm.
thank you and motivation and you inspired me and all that stuff. And we all mean it. It's not that we don't.
Right.
But outside of that, we talked about what else would you ever want to say to him? So if you got invited to a dinner with him, just you and him at a table,
Yeah.
after telling him how much he influenced your life, how are you going to fill the other, you know, 55 minutes of the
Yeah.
hour time you're going to have for dinner? I mean,
Right.
so
Right.
and that's what brought us to this. So I think it's a pretty cool concept.
Yes.
And we had some questions that we still didn't ask of our own, and then we got some people that watched the show involved, and they had questions that they wanted to ask as well. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So we'll continue with part two, and more than likely, we're gonna have a part three.
Yeah. The questions are coming in, and please continue sending them our way. Maybe we'll get a reply. Maybe we won't. We don't know. But you know what? Like I always told my kids, hey, if you don't ask, you'll never know.
Yep.
And the
No,
worst thing
that's you're
somebody could,
exactly right. I mean,
you know,
he might catch his attention and say that, wow, I've never been asked that, or oh, I never thought about that, or
right,
man, I haven't talked about that in a long or whatever. I mean, so
right, right.
it's pretty cool. But so yeah, I guess without further ado, let's not waste any time because we have a lot of questions to get to.
Let's
And
do it.
one of our viewers, our supportive people out there is Joanne Yee. Put your picture of Joanne up here so everybody can put a face
Yay,
and name.
Joanne.
There she is holding the Rocky 2 chicken pop. I
Yes,
love that one.
yes. Very cool. Very cool, Pop.
I love that one. But Joe has a good question. Joe sent in a few questions, so we're going to go back to the other people that we, once we go through them all, we'll go back again and ask the
Okay.
other questions. But her question was, does he still have his Rambo dog tags from First Blood? And if
Ooh,
not, what happened to them? So
that's right.
she's curious if he held on to that piece of movie prop. Did it go in his office, maybe, or did it? I mean, you've seen pictures of his office. He has a lot of memorabilia there.
Right, right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. It's leads you to think also too, since it was the first one. Does he take something from every movie set, or
That's
does he take
yeah.
something like, look, this movie's not, I'm not feeling it. I'm not going to take anything to remember this one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well,
Like,
you saw the clip of him where he sold a bunch of his memorabilia and was a
yeah,
heritage auctions or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you
I
know,
know. That
to
Mega
one time
Millions
being
1 billion lottery would come in handy.
yeah, right, and who knows? I mean, I believe he had the original Rambo jacket. I thought I saw
Oh, did he really? Okay.
in that clip. I'm pretty sure. I mean, don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that amongst other things that they were showing. But that's a great question. Something like the dog tags, which are they're small, something you could
Well, he had him around his neck. I mean, he could have just
yeah,
left set one day and never gave him back.
right,
He might have said, "I want to hold on to these," and this movie was kind of cool. Worked with Brian Dennehy, and then I want to hold on to them. And then later, of course, as he made more Rambos, obviously the character got more and more special to him. But yeah,
right.
I would like to hear his answer on that. I'd love to hear his answer on any of that stuff. Like what all you like you just said, we saw the pictures of all the stuff that he was selling on the auction. I guess you kind of get to a certain age where you're like, all right, I can't keep bringing home more. I kind of
Yeah.
have to thin out. Let me get rid of some stuff. I mean, I find it hard to believe some of the stuff he did get rid of, but
Tony, I have not reached that age yet.
I don't blame you. If I
As
had
you
that
can
collection,
see,
I wouldn't either.
I can't. If I was Sly, I'd be like, "This is staying here."
I don't blame you there. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Joe. So we'll see. Maybe he'll answer that one for us. Maybe he won't.
Maybe
I don't
he's
know.
got it on his car keys.
He
You know,
might. He might. You never know. Maybe put
that'd
him
be kind
around
of cool.
Dwight's head.
Yeah, that'd be
I
kind
still
of
want
cool.
to know
Yeah,
if Dwight's around. I like
right,
that
right.
dog.
Where'd you go?
I like that dog. I want to see if he's still around.
I know, right?
So what's the next question we got?
Okay, so pardon the glasses. This is from Brian.
Brian, big Brian. Look at him.
There he is.
Big
So
B fit.
Brian asks, so Sly tore his pec in Rocky 2 and had to tweak the story a bit and made him fight Apollo right-handed. Did he ever have another injury that changed the original movie plot or story?
Ooh, that's a really good one, Brian.
Yeah,
That's a really good
because
one. He got injured so much.
I know I was gonna say we know a lot of the backstory, not everything, but like with Rambo, we were just talking about when he jumped off the cliff and hit the tree and what he broke a rib or a collarbone or something like that. I mean,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and look at all the other movies he's done where he does his own acting or his
Right.
own stunts.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good question. It makes you think if you watch the movies, maybe, all right, let's put that in perspective of that question in particular. Maybe Rocky 3, the second fight with Clubber only went 3 rounds for that reason.
Yeah,
Maybe he had to shorten the fight because he just something. I mean, I'm completely speculating. I have
sure.
no idea if this is any, but I see where Brian's going with that. What else would have been changed if something didn't happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's a great because you look at him and like you just said in Rocky 3, with being at 4% body fat for that one, and having to stand on his head to get the blood flowing,
Mhm.
and drinking 27 cups of coffee or whatever it was.
I,
Maybe,
it was crazy. I mean, I
may,
could. It's just insane.
maybe with those type of dietary restrictions or whatever. I mean, who knows? It could be, but I do know for a fact, being on the set of the Creed 2 with filming that one 3-minute round took close to 12 to 14 hours to tape,
Ooh,
you know. So 3 rounds, we were there for 4 days.
right.
I mean, do the math.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So there's a lot of limitations. And if he's hurt, if he's injured, whatever the case may be, I'm sure there's probably more than 5 instances that something had to be tweaked more
Sure.
than just that.
Yeah.
Especially with the Rambo one. Oh my God.
Yeah. 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 God, exactly. He went wiping out down that giant
Oh,
tree. I was
yeah.
like, holy crap.
At least the director wasn't like, oh, I forgot to put the tape in the camera.
Right? Oh my God. Could you imagine at least if he did it, he got the take, like you said.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Hey, Sly, can you
Oh
do that
man.
again?
No. God.
No.
Yeah, he's laying there.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think so, buddy.
I don't think so, pal.
Oh my God. Well, I have another question here from a young lady that we recognize who's been a
Oh,
co-host of ours a couple times, my daughter Sophia.
yes, there
Sophia
she
sent
is.
over a pretty interesting question and her interesting answer. She said that with the popularity in biopics that have been done with Elton John and Queen and Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, we could keep going on and on and on. All these
Sure.
biopics that have been done. If while he's still alive and the pick is done, who would he want to portray him?
Oh,
And
good
her answer
question.
was Mr. Milo, who played Robert in
Okay.
Balboa and in Creed 2.
Okay. Okay.
She felt he looks like him enough, and especially with the mouth and the dark eyes, the dark hair, and the mannerisms and all. She said she felt that he could pull that off. Obviously, Milo would need to hit the gym, but
Yeah.
but I could see that. I mean, I could see him playing a young Sly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I could definitely. We've talked about the prequels,
Yeah,
in the de-aging,
yeah,
and but even if they didn't have to do the CGI de-aging, you could see Milo doing pre-Rocky before he
Mhm.
got, you know, in his younger years.
Yeah,
He would be a perfect fit.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I couldn't think of anyone, to be very honest, that was in their late 20s, early 30s to play it. Outside of because when she first asked me, I was trying to think of who I would think it would be, and I couldn't come up with anybody.
Yeah.
And then she gave me that answer. I'm like, oh my god, that's dead on. I don't know. I mean, you have any thoughts of who it could be? I mean, and then, again, granted, there's a lot of actors out there that are in that age bracket that I don't know their work, so it's not really valid for me to say who I would pick because I'm an old guy and I know all the older actors that work.
Right. I guess I don't have a name off the top of my head, but all right. So if I'm a casting director, okay, and I'm looking for an actor who's going to portray Sly. I'm like, I want to see their picture, their shot, whatever, their headshot,
Right.
whatever. From all I want to see is the eyes down, eyes to neck. I want to see
Mhm.
this. Okay. I can change hair color. We
Sure.
can give you contacts to make you have whatever color eyes.
We can
I
get you in
want
the
to see
gym.
I want to see the mouth, you know. I want to see that. So if I was a casting director, I guess that's how I go about it. Do I have a name? No. I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% because I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody in their early 30s that has that look. I mean, Sly does have a distinct look. I'll give you that. His eyes, like
Sure.
you said, his eyes and his mouth is, of course, the way he speaks is again, you could teach that to an actor.
Right.
I mean, granted, it wouldn't be exact, but you could teach that like they did for the gentleman that played Freddie Mercury, or played Elton John. You go through all those, the kid that played Elvis,
Oh my God,
watching
yeah.
hours and hours of film and videos. And So you can become that person, but like you said, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
That's a tough shoot. The only one I would think would be completely tougher would be like Arnold. I just couldn't see
maybe
somebody like.
his son.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right because
His
he does.
son looks
Yeah,
pretty damn close.
yeah, Joe Banya, right?
I think, yeah, that's his name. He looks,
He does have definitely the jawline, the facial
yeah,
structure. Obviously, he's pretty built.
right,
Yeah, you're
right.
right about that one.
He could pull it, but I mean, I guess if I was to have to give you a definitive answer, I would say prequel. Milo could definitely nail the prequel.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sorry, I said Milo. Sorry,
Milo,
Milo.
Milo. I'm not gonna.
I don't I don't know.
But if I'm a casting director, hey, send me your headshots from your eyebrows to your neck.
Right?
We'll work with the rest.
Well, yeah, because you like you said, you can. Everything else can be worked with. You can get to the gym, you could dye the hair, like you said. Even if you did a little shadowing or something,
Yeah, yeah,
but you want somebody to have that look, have those mannerisms. It'd be tough shoes to fill, that's for sure.
absolutely. Well, look what they did. Somebody did with the $5 bill with Andrew Jackson. I saw that they were drawing on the $5 bill and they turned Andrew Jackson into Rambo.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
So, you know,
I
anything
did
can
see
be
that.
done.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything's
Well,
possible.
so far, Sophia has the best answer. It is Milo. Sorry, Milo. Ventimiglia, right?
Yeah.
Ventimiglia. Yeah,
Oof.
but it
That's
is
a
Milo. I said Milo. Sorry about
that's a tongue twister.
that. I know it is definitely a tongue twister.
But a hell of an
Um,
actor.
but yeah. So that's a good one, Sophia.
Yes,
Next up, what do we got
absolutely.
next?
Okay. We have Lorenzo.
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 Look at him.
There he is. Handsome
Lorenzo
guy.
Leonard. 3, 2, 1.
Lorenzo wants to know what was the creative reason to start Rocky 4 director's cut with Rocky 3? Now, I
Ooh,
have an
I like
opinion on
that.
that. I do have an
I
opinion
actually
on
like
that.
that. I'm going to listen to your opinion first, and then I'll tell you mine. I like that
Okay.
question a lot.
So, Rocky 2 started out with the ending of Rocky.
Mhm.
Rocky
And thank you for
3,
being a real Rocky fan and not saying Rocky 1.
right. Rocky 3 started out with the ending of Rocky 2. Rocky 4 was the one that did not, because even Rocky 5 started out with the ending of Rocky 4.
Rocky 4. Yep.
Okay. So I felt when I saw that in the director's cut, and this is just my opinion, to make the continuation of the the filmology, if that's a
Mhm.
word, to be steady.
Yeah,
You know what I'm getting
cohesive.
at.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do. I do.
That's my take on it. Is the continuity there? There's the word I'm looking for. The continuity of Rocky, and then 2, 3, 4
Yep.
director's cut,
It
and 5,
just keeps flowing. Like if
where
you
they
put them on from beginning to end, it's one 12-hour movie.
right. That's
Gotcha.
that's how I took it. Was when and I actually thought when I saw the director's cut, I was very happy that he had done that, because it was like it filled in that missing piece that wasn't there to begin with, that should have always been there, because they
Mhm.
all did that. So
That's a good reason why. I mean, it would be a good reason why anyway. It's solid. I have a completely different take on
really,
why.
okay, I want to hear this. I'm
No, I
really,
mean, I like that. I think that makes more sense than my idea.
but no, I'm interested to hear it, because that's just my own thought.
Right.
Tony,
No,
I don't get
yours
to talk
definitely.
Rocky with anybody else.
Yeah, it's true. This is true. No, mine is a completely different take, and it's only for because of when it was released. I think if he would have done Rocky 4, I think if he would have made the director's cut version of Rocky 4 in 85, I'm not quite certain he would have done this. But having it been released so many years later, I think he wanted to kind of refresh the memory because everybody that's a Rockhead knows these movies inside and out.
Sure.
But the casual fan might not really remember why Rocky and Apollo were friendly.
Okay.
Why is Apollo going to Rocky, talking to him at all about boxing?
Okay.
So my thought was he did that to kind of reintroduce the reason and the growing of the friendship and the development of the friendship. And then going into Rocky 4 for a refresher for the people that did see it, for a explanation of people that didn't see it at all. Maybe they didn't even see Rocky 3.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I mean, I could be way off, and I think I am. I think I'm way
I don't
overthinking it.
I don't think so. Maybe it's a combination of both of ours,
It might be
you
because
know?
I was very surprised that he started off with that. And it wasn't even just the fight either, because he didn't start off with just the last round of the fight like he did the others.
Right.
Rocky 2, it was the 14th round of Rocky.
Right. Right.
And then Rocky 3, it was the almost knockdown before it happened. So it was the last round.
Right.
He went back a little bit and kind of put the pieces together of what was happening.
Right.
And again, I could be completely wrong. I just and then he used Eye of the Tiger as almost the Rocky 4 theme again. And it was at the end. It was in the beginning. I don't know. I would love for him to answer that one. That's a great question.
That is. I mean, yeah. Okay. Sly, you got to step up. You got to break.
Yeah.
Who's right? Who's wrong? Or is it a combination of both? Or
What's
maybe
that?
it's neither.
What's that about? Exactly.
It could be neither.
It probably. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's neither one of us are right. He's probably like, "What is wrong with you two?" So we have some questions left over from
We do.
from the last episode. So why don't you have yours ready or want me to
Why
go?
don't you go ahead? Because
Okay. Well, mine is pretty. It's pretty basic for a question for somebody of our Rocky intellect, I guess you could say. I would love to know why he did the double knockdown in Rocky 2. Why didn't he just let Rocky knock him out? Why was it forced that he had to continue to fight to win that fight? Like he had to get up on. Not only was it good enough to get Apollo down, but now he's got to get up off the mat himself.
Wow.
I always wondered why. And I also looked, and you probably know more than I would about this, being you're so into boxing. Considering that he was hitting Apollo, and Apollo was like dead on his feet. Gave him that last shot, and then they both went down. He didn't really get knocked down by Apollo. So does that even count that he was knocked down?
Well, it's still considered it's not considered like you still have to do the 8 count. Okay.
I mean,
you
Apollo didn't even touch him.
Right. But he still has to do, they still have to do at least if Rocky fell or like if there's a trip or a slip.
Right. Well, yeah, I know that. Yes.
They got
I see where you're going with that.
The gloves and
right.
But, that's a great question.
I just always wondered why it wasn't enough. Like the end of the film where he was going at it. Apollo's going like this with his arms. I mean, Rocky's nailing him left and right. Why couldn't he just give him that shot and let it get counted down?
Maybe it was just maybe he had just more. Maybe Sly was just thinking he had to. Nothing is going to come easy for him, so it's going to be
Yeah, I agree with that because that's the way I'm thinking why he did it. Like, no, it wasn't like a regular fight would have been somebody got knocked out, but no, he's got to earn it again. Not only did he knock down the champ this time, but now he still has to earn it by getting back up off the mat.
Right. Nothing was ever going to be easy for Rocky, and he made sure that to the very bitter end. I mean,
second.
1 second.
1 second.
Yeah. A man of my intelligence.
I mean, like I said, I know it's a pretty basic question. It's pretty simple.
But it's not.
It's not in my eyes. I remember in the theater, don't get me wrong, I bought into it. When I saw it happen, I bought into it. I'm like, what do you mean he's on the ground? Oh my God, get up, get up.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's yelling at the screen. Maybe that's what he wanted. But then again, you could have been yelling at the screen, stay down to Apollo.
Right.
Rocky's just standing there waiting for the count, and show Rocky counting, mouthing the words 3, 4, and then go to Adrian 5, 6, and go back to
Right.
Rocky 7, 8, and I don't know. I would love to hear why.
Maybe
So,
the cinematic whatever you want to call it, the hype, to build up that
right.
suspense, he could have looked at it that way, but then he came back to this way and was like, I think this is going to build more suspense. It's going to be more
Well, obviously the
powerful.
man knows what he's doing more than I
Oh
am. So
yeah.
it
Who are we
works.
to question? Hey, we're
that should be his answer. You don't want your answer? How about don't worry about it? Did you like the
yeah,
movie?
right. Hey, we're just spitballing here.
Exactly.
Inquiring minds
That's
want to
funny.
know.
That's funny. All right. So what do you got?
Okay, so I don't even need my glasses for this one.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to apologize if I asked this last time. I just can't remember. I did watch I watched the show, and I just don't remember. So if I did, please don't throw tomatoes at me. We're all aware of the movie this Sly did not regretted doing. Okay. Did I ask this question? Did I do that?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. All
I
right.
was thinking in my head, like, how soon do I cut him off? Like, do I tell him right away? Do I let him get in a little deep?
Okay. So yeah, that throw mama. But was there,
It wasn't Throw Mama. I wanted to know why he did Rhinestone. That was right. That's what...
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you did do the Throw to Mama
Okay.
question.
So then my other question was I was testing you.
See, I pay attention. See,
Yeah, you got a good memory. You got a better memory than me. Would this one is a little personal, I guess, because I would kind of like want to put my name at the top. But would Sly ever consider having a contest or some kind of I don't even know, meet and greet type thing with a fan? Either come to a fan's house to see their Rocky memorabilia, or like I call this, the world's or New York State's largest Rocky museum.
right,
Would he
right,
ever consider doing something like that? I'm assuming, you know, we're not weirdos, and
yeah,
we're not like going to go all fanboy on them and everything.
right,
Just hey, you want to come on over and have a beer with me and come down and see what I got, and hang out, or would you like, or would he have, hey, send me your photos of your memorabilia. I want to see what you guys are out there doing.
right.
Would you ever consider doing something
I
like
could
that?
definitely see the latter part. I don't know how much he would be going to other people's houses. I could definitely see the latter part, and obviously he's into the stuff because on the show that he did for Paramount with his family, you saw how he had a bunch of the memorabilia too.
Right.
And the daughters were like, "Oh, I know, Dad. Yeah, yeah, yeah." But he loved it and he liked it. So I think he would enjoy seeing I bet you there's a lot of stuff he doesn't even know is out there.
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm
I
sure
mean,
of
I
it.
know that, he'll see the obvious, the boxing gloves. I know he knows about the figures and the robes and stuff, but there's got to be a ton of stuff he doesn't know is out there.
Sure. Sure. I think it would be so cool. Is like, hey guys, it's me, Cy Sloan. Send me your videos of
See, that I could definitely see happening. That would be awesome. I think that
and
would be cool.
maybe I'll pick a winner and go visit them. Who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah,
Hey, a guy can dream, right?
absolutely.
Or girl,
That's
a girl. We can all dream.
absolutely.
We can
No,
all
I
have
could
it.
see that. Him and Sly Stallone shop maybe getting together a little, who has the best room. And Mike, I'm sorry, you're disqualified. All
Yeah.
right. I love you, buddy,
You don't count.
but you have to be the judge with Sly. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mike's doesn't count. Mike has the booth from Adrian's. I mean, come on.
I know, right?
Like,
How can you compete?
exactly. You can't. You can't.
Damn it, I'll make one
I
if I
mean,
have to.
I would spend hours in his room just walking around looking at everything. My
I
God.
know. I know. He's got so much stuff.
Should
God.
put
But
that in the remember we talked about that with Mickey's.
Yeah.
Make Mickey a museum. But-
Oh yeah, we could all like put our collections together and charge admission. That'd be awesome.
So here is a question that I have, and this is my last question. I'll have to think of some more for the next episode. But I was wondering if there's any scenes in the saga, kind of like he did with director's cut of Rocky Four. Like, did he leave out certain things that later on he looked at and went, "Oh man, I wish I would have left that in," and not maybe a full fledged director's cut, but maybe just a scene. Like, I filmed this scene, I was going to use it, but I decided to use this, and later on, I wish I would have went with that one scene. I don't
Okay.
mean a whole director's cut of the film, just a
Right.
scene. So I would love. I mean, because you almost can't count Rocky because Rocky wasn't, of course, done by him. He wasn't the director. I'm sure he had a lot of input because the scene where he was in bed with Adrian the night before the fight, they almost cut that scene out.
Right.
And I know that he went. Well, I read that he went and was like, this is imperative to the entire film. We have to have this scene."
Right. Sure.
And he's like, "You got one take," and sure enough, he nailed it.
Yeah.
But is there another scene in 2, 3? Obviously, we know how he changed 4. 5 is a big one that people always ask about the director's cut, or Balboa. That he would, and again, not a full fledged director's cut where he changed it. Like, because let's face facts, for Rocky 4 and Rocky 4 director's cut, Rocky versus Drago,
Hmm.
they're completely different films.
Right.
So I don't mean in that nature, like how he would completely change 2 or 3 or so forth. I just meant, is there a scene? Man, I really wish I would have left that scene in. It was so pivotal. I don't know why I didn't leave it in.
Okay.
You know, and you see, I mean, we've seen a handful of deleted scenes, more so from Balboa than the others. I think just
Right.
because Balboa is the most recent, and
Right.
there's very little video out there of the others.
Well, I can. Yeah. Um, Having watched Balboa so many times and watching all the deleted scenes, you know, there are some in there that I'm like, geez, I wish that would have made the film.
Right.
I can tell you that on the Offspring on Creed 2, okay.
I love how that's becoming the redheaded stepchild of the
I
saga
know.
now. Like
It's got a
Creed, I
special place
really
in my
liked
heart.
because I liked Creed because it brought him back into the existing world. It brought him
Yes.
back. I will admit Donnie kind of irritated me because he wasn't. Apollo was tough and confident and cocky and mouthy and could back it up, and Rocky was just all heart and strong as an ox and hard of
Yeah.
you know Donnie was just a little too whiny for me.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but then Rocky Creed 2, I really liked because again, the storyline was so. I mean, with Drago and the kid and
Yeah.
him
Right.
finding his son, so there was so many intricate parts. But it's so funny how more and more Rockhead Nation is like they don't even mention it anymore. They don't even call it Creed anymore.
I know.
And the other movie, the Offspring movie,
Yeah.
the continuation of it.
Right.
Oh, that's hysterical. I didn't mean
But
to interrupt. Go ahead.
no, that's quite okay because a lot of us feel that way. But I mean, it always has Creed 2 always will have a special place in my
Of
heart.
course. Yeah,
But
especially for you. Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
but if you go back and you look at those deleted scenes in that movie, you know, that could have, if those scenes were put in there, and I'll name a few.
Are you talking about Creed 2 or are you talking about Balboa?
Creed 2.
Okay.
Where Rocky gives the eulogy for Spider Rico. It's Spider
Yeah.
Rico's funeral.
Yeah.
Powerful, powerful scene. Should have been in there in my opinion. And
Yeah.
it was just again brought things full circle. And I know it's not a Rocky movie, but still, the man made.
Yeah.
This is his world. You know,
Yep.
that
No,
scene.
agreed. Agreed.
I thought the scene of Rocky and Drago fighting in the hospital, though it was only probably going to be a
Yeah.
minute or two. I mean, that's
Yeah.
nostalgia. I mean, come on. That's who
Oh yeah.
wouldn't want to see that, you know? And
And
the other
well,
one that
it's
comes
almost like remember the scene in the ring where, and I forget what was exactly happening because I haven't seen them nearly as much as I have the Rocky films. But I remember Rocky coming into the ring and Ivan Drago was taking Victor. And he comes in, he's like, "What's your problem?" And Ivan turns around, just looks at him, gives him that look, like it was almost
right,
like they were in the ring again. And you're like,
right,
I was like, "Yeah, Rock, hit him." Like,
right, you know? I mean, come on,
oh,
bring the juice, man. And then
but
the
yeah,
other
you're
one
right.
that
I mean, the that fight in the hospital lobby, yeah, I would love to have seen that. Love to have
oh
seen
my
it.
god, yeah. And I know I believe there was 4, but I can only think of 3.
Well, I
Um,
know the one that was in the locker room after
that
the
was
fight.
my next one.
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah,
that was very moving, and
exactly. I did too.
they involved Victor and Ivan, Rocky,
Yep.
and uh, Adonis,
Yeah.
and Stitch, and it was kind of like peace was made.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly right.
after the whole thing, there was an understanding.
Yeah,
It
and there
was
was
like
almost no word said.
right. I mean, even Adonis's speech to Ivan, no, I'm sorry, Victor, um, I thought was very well done. You
Yeah,
know,
agreed.
this does not define us. This does not, this
Yeah,
loss doesn't define you. And then you go to 3 and you see how they kind of became somewhat friendly. But
right.
I thought that was and then just the contact, just the nod, the head nod between
Mhm.
Rocky and Ivan.
Yep.
It's
No,
my
agreed.
God.
Well,
Some
that's
of
just
this
like there
stuff.
was the scenes in a Balboa where Paulie was moving out of his girlfriends.
Right.
Like, first of all, when did Paulie get a girlfriend?
Yeah, right. I know. I'm like,
That he
wow.
didn't pay for like in Rocky 2. But I mean, yeah, he was moving out of the girlfriend's house. That scene, I saw it on YouTube.
Yep. Well, that's on the disc, on the Blu-ray, I
Oh,
believe.
it is. See, I don't have the
On
Blu-ray disc.
Okay, on the deleted scenes. And the other one was where when Rocky and he Polly says he says I retired. And then he's like, I got 2 watches,
Yeah,
and then he
yeah.
goes out the door, right?
You go in the alley.
He goes out the alley and he's like, you're gonna do all right, Rock. And he's like, how do you know? He's like, the stuff in the basement. There was a huge scene. Have you seen that clip?
No, more than that.
Oh my God, yeah. Paulie's like bawling his eyes out. He's like, why do I do this to the people I love and my sister? It was like a good 5-minute scene.
Oh man, see, like, why would he take that out? And now
Yeah,
Balboa, he had complete control over. So it was just, what's the reasoning?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was. I mean, it might have been a little dragged out with the deleted part, in the
Right.
deleted scenes, but I thought again, it really gave a lot of credence to Polly showing his emotions, his feelings. We've always known him just to be kind of like this heartless,
Yeah.
every once in a while you'll get a glimpse of Polly having a
Yeah.
big heart. And this was
Yeah.
a really good glimpse into Polly's, you know,
Well,
uh,
yeah. I mean, in the 6 films, I mean, it was very few times where he, like you said, you saw his heart for showing how he cared for the people that he should love and the
right.
people that obviously loved him because they took care of him. And they took the good with the bad with Paulie. They knew what he was and how he was, like the fight in the beginning of Rocky 3, where they get into the fight of why you move Mick in and not me, and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But it hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurt his feelings. But yeah, I mean, you couldn't show too much emotion for Paulie because he had to be like, it'd be like having Mickey show a lot of emotion. Like he showed emotion like 3 times, like
Right.
positive emotion, not negative reinforcement.
Right, 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 right.
So, I would just love to know what the reasoning was. Was it something as simple as time restraint? We had to figure out where to cut 5 minutes, and that was the most expendable part. Okay, that's what it was. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
But is there somewhere else you could shave 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and leave that in?
it's almost a shame. Like in today's day and age, where movies are going 2.5, 3, 4 hours long.
Yeah.
If some of these could have been brought out now, we could
Yeah.
have seen a lot more rather than time constraints. And I don't understand if it's pivotal to the movie and the scene is that good. Who cares if it's 5 minutes?
Oh,
You know,
agreed. I
who
agree.
cares?
I mean, I don't know how those things work, but I agree with what you're saying. That was the argument that Francis Ford Coppola had with The Godfather. They were like, this movie's too long. We're not releasing it. And the reason why they didn't want to release it because it was a long movie is because it limits how many showings that they could have in the theater. So they were like, if the movie is an hour and 45 minutes long, and I'm using rounded numbers, I don't know these for a fact, but if the movie's an hour and 45 minutes long, we can get 10 showings. But if the movie is 2 hours long, we only get 7. And if the movie is, 2.5 hours long, we get 5.
So it
So
comes all down to the dollar.
it comes down to the dollar and how many people are seeing the film. Now, of course, once you get established as a filmmaker, obviously you can do whatever you want and put out however long movies you want. But in the beginning, it's and this one here, as we all know, he had a tough time getting Balboa even made. So maybe that 5 minutes did make or break it. Like, look,
Yeah, you're right.
cut the 5 minutes, or we're not even putting it out.
You're right.
I
Yeah.
mean, he had a hard, which I still can't even fathom. I just don't understand how you give somebody who in 2006 was already in film legendary status.
Right.
How do you not say okay to make his film? I just don't get it.
Yeah, the man has earned the respect. Give him the respect.
I mean, I understand what their argument was in a way. Look, nobody cares about Rocky anymore. It's 2006.
Well, we've
Younger
said that
people, they
before,
don't even
Tony.
know who Rocky is. I know, but as a business person at the studio, they don't see it like that. So I understand that that's going to be their argument, but
Then they're out of touch with the community because they need to have people out there, easy for us to say, but who are in touch with, who knows what the latest thing is or what people are doing. I know that they have jobs for people to do that. Hey, what's hot? What's the hot topic?
right,
Is
right.
is
Oh,
Spider-Man
sure.
still on top?
Oh, especially in 06. I mean, you could just research how many films are being rented or sold or streamed. I mean, and now obviously look how many. I mean, ever since Sly came out in Creed, what was that, 15?
I
Uh,
think so.
I mean, everything from the past has been remade again. So these characters are not gone and forgotten.
No.
Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, or Ghostbusters with the original guys and things of that nature. There's still a market because it's good. It's that
Right.
simple. Like when I was younger, I remember some friends of mine busting my chops about some songs I liked. I liked some Elvis Presley songs. I liked some older songs that my parents were listening to. Neil
Okay.
Diamond, Roy Orbison. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, what is this? Like, it's a good song. Listen to the
Right.
song. Don't worry about, oh, he's 30 years old. The music's 30 years old. Listen to the music, listen to the lyrics. And if you like it, you like it. Like you were talking
Right.
about the
Oh,
guilty pleasure of the
yeah.
Dancing Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, bud.
Same thing. Same thing though. If I have it and I like the song, so if a song came out tomorrow by a group that I never heard of that's new, but it's a good song, that's not right to say, oh, I don't like it because it's
Yeah.
not what you know.
Right.
Now, granted, I mean that would be a hard sell because there's so much crap out there today, but you know,
there truly is. But I mean,
I
every
mean,
once in
if
a
somebody came out with something good, it's good.
yeah, every once in a while I'll come across something I'm like, hey, I kind of like that, I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
tell
mean,
you who the artist is. I couldn't tell you who the singer is. I don't know
but
nothing.
it's
I'm
just
like,
like
hey,
anything else. I mean, you go to the library and you take out a book. Is it James Patterson? Is it Tom Clancy? Is it Stephen King? Okay, but it's Joe Schmo, and you like the story. So
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
So
Just be true to yourself. Like I
yeah,
said, we all have our guilty pleasures, and every once in a while you come across. I'm like, hey, that's kind of catchy,
That's it. That's it. Well, we definitely have more questions to ask, but we're coming up on the time restraint here, so we're going to cut it a little short. It's 45 minutes. We keep the show 45 to an hour, but no sense getting into more questions that we can't really finish. So
Right.
we are going to have a part 3 because we have, I think, 6 more questions from viewers. I have one more, and you have one more.
I believe I will have one
Okay.
more.
So that's another whole show right there. I mean, I'm hoping that they like this. It seemed like they did the last one. It's a fun show.
Yeah.
It's just to chat about whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be good. We'll have to do this again on a part 3 sometime soon, maybe next week, maybe the week after. We'll see how many questions we get between now and
Right.
recording the next episode.
The views and opinions of these people are not always necessarily of the broadcast station.
I know. Exactly.
Hey, it's our opinion.
Exactly. All right, brother. Well, we will see everybody next week.
You got it.
All righty. I'll
Go in.
talk to you soon.